All right, all right, all right. Let's get this party started. Sorry, I'm gonna drink my water. Trying something new. I'm gonna put the mic in a different position. So let's go over a couple of things. So let's go over the two interviews that Elaine did with Today, and I think it was like CBS Morning. One of those shows that, let's be honest, I don't know who the hell watches these type of shows. I think it's called NBC News Today, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Um, we'll see them real quick. Yeah, it doesn't really, that's kind of irrelevant to me. So let's go over these two interviews. I watched small portions of it, and I just smelled the BS coming out of it. It's crazy because the thing is, I defended drama. I defended drama. I was on her side, and I even made the case that she just had a really difficult client. I thought that her and Rottenborn did the best that they could, but what are you supposed to do when you have such a dislikable, such a punchable face witness, right? Like, what are you supposed to do with a person like that? I mean, Amber Heard is the type of person that will build a bridge, burn it, and then blame you for burning the bridge. It is what it is. So we're gonna go unhinged. Is 12:55 a.m. So that means that I can go all out. This again is the unpussified version of the podcast where I can say everything that I want, and we're not gonna get demonetized. So there's really no risk in doing whatever the fuck I want or saying whatever the hell I want. So all right, unbreaded crew. Shout out to Nick Rocada. He's live right now, and I wanted to watch him, but instead of watching him, I decided to make my own content. I hope that he's proud of me. Let's go over this BS. Let's go over this BS, boys and girls. Can I just call girls boys? Is that insensitive? All right. Let's talk to Grandma real quick. Bro, yo, I was on her side, but after this, it just shows the lack of integrity that she has. To me, she is just like Amber's sister in the sense that Amber surrounds herself with people that have no integrity. There's Ethan Klein. Oh, that's another one right there. Amber Heard surrounds herself with people with zero integrity, zero morals, and just people that she can bust around, right? AKA Elaine. So let's go over Elaine. I just had to say that before I forgot. You know, H3H3. That's another guy.
Well, we are joined now by Amber Heard's attorney, Elaine Charlson. Brett Hoff, good morning to you. It's good to see you. First question, how is Amber doing? We saw her hearing that verdict. It took a long time to read. It was a sweeping verdict for Johnny Depp. How did she handle it?
You know, one of the first things she said is, I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women in and outside the courtroom. And she feels the burden of that.
Well, knowing the case and knowing the law, as you certainly do, it favors defendants like Amber Heard. Are you stunned that the jury is...
Before we continue, if you guys read Amber's, I don't know, like press, I don't know, the paragraph that she wrote, all that garbage too. If you guys read it, remember what she said and pay attention to what Elaine is going to say in the next two interviews. It's really important because they already have a story set. They already have a narrative that they want to push. And I just want you guys to pay attention to it.
Essentially rejected her story.
Well, really what happened here is it's a tale of two trials.
Here she goes. It's not a tale of two trials. She's going to try to bring the UK into this. She's trying to make it into this gender war, men versus women thing with the whole Amber said that she's so sorry that she failed the females. She failed women, all right, because she lied. And now because of her, women who are in similar positions like her now have to pay the price. Now they're going to be questioned left and right because nobody wants to have another Amber Heard in their hands.
Johnny Depp brought a suit in the UK for the same case. And the burden of proof was easier for him there. The son had to actually prove that it was true. And the court found there, and we weren't allowed to tell the jury this, but the court found that Mr. Depp had committed at least 12 acts
of course, this is where she loses me, and I'm not going to defend her anymore. Elaine knows why you cannot bring that UK trial into US court. One, because it's the damn UK and nobody gives a damn what the UK has to say. Two, because this is a completely different trial. In that trial, Amber was a witness. She was protected. She was able to testify behind closed doors where no one could question her because the UK is backwards. There's a reason why we kicked them out. There's a reason why 13 colonies kick their asses because they're garbage.
Domestic violence, including sexual violence.
It's, let me restart. Woosah. Woosah. The UK trial was a completely different trial. It was against the son. Amber was not a party. The judge is not going to allow Elaine or Rottenborn to talk about the UK trial because it will be prejudicial against Johnny. Because the jury might believe that if the son found Johnny guilty, then they should also find Johnny guilty in this one, although it was two different cases. And they were both for defamation, and that's where the similarities end.
Against Amber. So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence. We had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case that was in the UK case. In the UK case, when it came in, Amber won, Mr. Depp lost.
But here's the thing,
There you go. That's the third thing. A bunch of lies. Mountain of evidence. You guys can all look at the evidence that Amber brought. She didn't have a mountain of evidence. She brought edited pictures. She brought copies of pictures, basically saying that this picture represents January 12th. I'm making a date up. And then the same picture represents November 23rd, right? Those were the type of evidence that she brought. She didn't have a mountain of evidence as she claimed. Any evidence that was on the trial, one, actually benefited Johnny because there was a bunch of evidence that was not allowed in because it couldn't be verified or it was hearsay or other reasons. There's a YouTuber called The Lawyer You Know. He goes over all of this evidence. I'm going to try to, I mean, you guys know that the YouTube channel because I just said it, but you should definitely just check it out. And he goes over to why certain evidence wasn't allowed in the trial.
We're able to get some evidence that you say demonstrated abuse. You certainly had her testimony. There were pictures, documents, all kinds of evidence. But in point of fact, the jury rejected it.
Yeah.
You argued in your closing arguments that if they found even one instance of abuse, and it did not even have to be physical abuse, that they would have to find for Amber Heard, and they didn't.
And the other part to bear in mind here is nothing changed. The op-ed didn't even mention Mr. Depp by name. And so what?
I don't even have to say much about it. You guys saw the trial. There's clips. She admitted that she wrote it the first time she got on the stands. Elaine asked her, "Why are you here?" And she said, "I am here because of an op-ed that I wrote." Then the second time she testified, Camille got her to confess that she wrote the op-ed for men like Johnny. And even on the questionnaire, on the verdict, the jury had to ask themselves if this op-ed was about Johnny or referring to Johnny. Johnny didn't have to be there by name. And again, she's just
basically they did here is demonize her. And they were able to suppress the medical records, which were very, very significant because they showed a pattern going all the way back to 2012 of Amber reporting this to her therapist, for example. We had
those are the medical records. Amber Heard telling her therapist, but there was no evidence. That's not a medical record. That's not the same as if you go to a freaking ER, if you go to a doctor and they can write down what happened to you and they can test you for what happened to you.
Significant amount of text, including from Mr. Depp's assistants, saying, when I told him he kicked you, he cried. He is so sorry.
Bro,
that
this is
didn't come
mad.
in.
Is there any other way to interpret this verdict, though? that this.
The text that she's referring to is a text that I believe is, first of all, is a hearsay text, so it couldn't go into evidence because I believe it's a text that Johnny's assistant, or I think you just said Johnny's assistant, sent to somebody else or something, sent to Johnny. Again, that's hearsay. That is assistant. I believe that the Amber told the assistant. It's not verifiable, and she's being disingenuous at best.
Jury,
Shout out
for
to
whatever
Kevin
reason, and
Samuels.
I hear you on some of the evidence that they didn't hear, listening to Amber Heard, did not believe a single word.
And that's because she was demonized here. A number of things were allowed in this court that should not have been allowed. And it caused the jury to be confused. We weren't allowed to tell them about the UK judgment.
No.
So the damages is
No, you're not supposed to tell them about the UK judgment. What is grandma talking about? Stop bringing up the UK. F the UK. Nobody cares about what the UK has to say. We don't care about what the UK has to say. We save the UK's ass time and time again after we kick their ass. Okay? F the Queen, F the King, F the Prince. The UK is lucky that we don't go over there, buy their damn tea, and throw out the water. Actually, we shouldn't buy their tea. That's messed up. We're gonna pay. That's nonsense at that point. The UK is lucky we don't go to the freaking UK, grab their tea and throw it out the water and burn their fam. Oh shit! I didn't mean burn their families. I was supposed to say burn their factories. Hey, second language.
There are no damages. It stopped at November 2, 2020, which is when the judgment came down in the UK.
Let me ask you about social media in this case. Unlike any celebrity case, certainly I've ever covered or ever seen, social media was a part of this. And it was incredibly lopsided and vitriolic against Amber Heard. Do you think that had an effect on the case?
Absolutely.
Do you think jurors were aware of it? They weren't supposed to be. They're admonished every single day. Don't look at it. Do you think they did see it?
How
Look at
can
grandma.
you not? They
She's
went
so happy to
home
add that
every
in.
night. They have families. The families are on social media. We had a 10-day break in the middle because of the judicial conference. There's no way they couldn't have been influenced by it. And it was horrible. It really, really was lopsided. And I appreciate your saying that. It's like the Roman Colosseum,
Roman Colosseum,
how they
UK,
viewed this whole
no
case.
evidence.
I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that and had argued against it
you
because
support
of the
fucking
sensitive
UK.
nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
Does your client want to appeal?
Oh, absolutely. And
The court was handled perfectly by Judge Ascarati. There was not a single instance of disturbance. There was a story that apparently some women told Johnny that I have your baby or something like that. I think that's the worst that ever happened, but we didn't see on camera. There's no video about it. Other than that, everything was handled perfectly. So it was not a zoo. And the only time your client ever saw any amount of, I guess, backlash was when she was leaving or like entering or arriving. But she left perfectly fine. And also, notice how she brought up the jurors. If you guys pay attention to, I believe, the day that they came back from the judicial conference break, they have a whole like 9-day break. During that break, you guys will notice that when they came back, Amber and Elaine started to rewrite the timeline for their, they started to rewrite the timeline of their story. And it was because they had a lot of holes. The judge asked them specifically, do not talk to your client during that break. And it was so obvious that they actually did. That was the first thing I noticed as soon as they came back. It seems like they're just trying to fix a lot of their mistakes out of nowhere.
And she has some excellent
It's
grounds for it.
hypocritical.
We even had tried to get the UK judgment in to dismiss his case
After you
because he already had his shot.
he shouldn't have his
and that's
shot.
one of the issues, but also a number of the evidentiary issues. There was so much evidence that did not come in.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but she broke as hell. She purchased a house in like somewhere in California, out of all places. And I want her to appeal, like she said. Oh, I'm definitely going to appeal. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck. What do you have? You had a fair shot. You had a fair shot. The judge allowed your counterclaim to go to the jury. Although she should have striked it because you guys couldn't justify your $10 million in damages.
Finally, in closing arguments, Amber's team argued that this would send a message, that it would send a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. You need to be perfect in order for people to believe you if she did not get a favorable verdict. What message do you think this sends?
It's a horrible message. It's, as I said, a setback. It's a significant setback because that's exactly what it means. Unless you pull out your phone and you video your spouse or your significant other beating you, effectively, you won't be believed.
Elaine Charlson, Bretta Hoff, thank you very much for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? Like, that's not true. Plus, your client did that. Your client was taking pictures, taking videos. Your client did all that. But apparently, such a horrific man, apparently Michael Myers, couldn't be caught on camera either damaging you, hurting you in any way, on audio. A lot of these audios, if you guys didn't know, a lot of the audio was actually from one party, meaning that Amber started the audio, she hit the cam, she hit the, her phone or whatever, and Johnny was talking freely while she knew that she was being recorded. She knew all of that, and you still couldn't get this violent man on camera hitting you on audio or admitting to hitting you on a text. You didn't have no aftermath of your face getting bruised up. I mean, just look at Rihanna. Look at it was this Christine Mack, I believe it is, after she got destroyed by War Machine, a UFC fighter, I believe who he was. They had one picture. That's all it took, just one picture. She described Johnny Depp to be a Michael Myers type figure. Like she was being hunted down, hit over the head, horrific stuff.
Virginia.
Okay, let me show you this next one because this is ridiculous. This is disingenuous acts at best. But again, pay attention to the narrative they're going with. He already lost in the UK trial. They have a mountain of evidence. The message that it sends to females, right? A gender war between men and women. Let's see. UK trial, mountain of evidence, essentially gender war. The jury was influenced, which that's a big accusation because you're saying that the jury disobeyed the judge's order. That's a big accusation. Let me see, and yeah. So let me just show you the next one. This is zero integrity, in my opinion. Whatever. Let's go.
A jury's decision to side with Johnny Depp in his defamation lawsuit is drawing both condemnation and praise. The verdict came after 6 weeks of very dramatic testimony from both sides. She claimed that he abused her while he said she was the abuser. In his reaction, Depp wrote, "The goal of bringing the case was to reveal the truth, and that truth never perishes." Elaine Charlson Brettahoff is the attorney for Amber Heard and is with us now. And we should mention, we did also reach out to Johnny Depp's team, but they declined to be interviewed this morning. Elaine, thank you.
So of course they're going to decline. Camille Vasquez is in an island chilling with her husband and her kids. I believe she's married. Camille Vasquez right now is in the Bahamas, drinking some tequila. Ben Chu is riding an alpaca, right? Johnny Depp is on a concert world tour with Kate Moss, a model. They don't got time to do this morning shows. They're not losers. They're enjoying their lives. They're having a good time. Shit, after UK too.
I'm very glad you're here.
Thank you.
We heard Amber's reaction to the verdict yesterday. This seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
Oh yeah, it is.
A major setback for women.
Look at
For
that
women
face.
inside the courtroom.
Again, major setback for women trying to create a gender war. And I am so happy to see that in the comment section of this video, Twitter's, the social medias, like she calls it, there's a bunch of women, actual victims in them as well, talking about their experience and calling BS. So stop trying to act like females are on your side because women don't believe you.
Outside the courtroom.
Because
Because basically what this said, you know, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence. All these women who suffer from domestic violence and domestic abuse, and they don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine, I think
Unless you are, right, in this country, supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. The jury said unless you have concrete evidence, then you're not guilty. You didn't have concrete evidence. You had hot garbage. The worst video you had was of Johnny Depp smashing some cabinets and drinking a mega pint of wine. And apparently it was because he lost $650 million. If I lose $650 million, you damn sure I'll be slapping some damn cabinets. Hell, I'll take a trip to the UK and start slapping some fucking people over there, especially the judges and their stupid ass monarchs, especially the damn probably the king. They don't have a king, but I'd probably slap the prince, after UK, after king.
it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
Why?
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
Get him back.
But,
Get him.
But she's a
Get her.
but she's a celebrity too.
Right.
No,
But you
but-
have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence
The UK.
came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one.
Does she know this is America? Does she realize that we're not 13 colonies anymore? Like, does she realize that we don't abide by the UK rules? The UK. Even in the last interview that I just showed, even in the last interview, the interviewer asked, "How about you?" What was Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp, what type of evidence? You have a mountain of evidence. What do you have? We have a kitchen cabinet. That's what she did. You have a mountain of evidence. We had a mountain of evidence. We have a mountain of evidence. Amber Heard, he did what with you with a bottle? Yeah, he did this with a bottle. Where's the bottle? It's broken. Here's a picture of a bottle. What? No. Like, do you have medical records? You know what I mean? Like, do you have medical records of what happened to you, this horrific event? No, but I have a bottle. Yo, can you imagine? That? I can imagine them when they were in Discovery, and Elaine asked her, "Damn, so he did what with you with a bottle?" Yeah, he penetrated me with a bottle. Oh my God. You have medical records? No, but I have a bottle. I have a bottle. Okay, a bottle? Like, was that the bottle he used? No, I bought it yesterday. Yo, bro, shout out to the lead attorney. I got that idea from him.
Burden of proof was on the son in the UK because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then. And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge, it wasn't a jury, it was a judge. The judge said it was
yeah.
substantially true, and that is significant, and I think surprised a lot of legal analysts. But, in this case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause harm, right? That's a pretty high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since
It's pretty freaking difficult to prove that. Extremely difficult. Defamation cases are no joke. They are extremely difficult to win. The fact that she lost on every single count, and she keeps bringing up the UK. The UK had a damn judge who was arguably corrupt. I believe he has some ties with Elon Musk. He has some ties with the son. That whole trial is BS. That's what we left their ass. That's why in the US we have trials. You're supposed to be judged by members, by your peers. That's why we have judge trials, jury trials. You're supposed to be judged by your peers. They're supposed to put that moral aspect that the law sometimes doesn't have into effect, because sometimes the law can be it could be there could be injustice done. You know, a perfect example is when me and Sam read the verdict form. We read it and we were like, damn. I mean, if we go, word for word, technically speaking, Johnny wins one. I believe me and him gave him two, and we kind of got stuck in the middle because honestly, I was stuck there too. No matter how badly I wanted to give it to Johnny, I kind of got stuck there. But this is why you're judged by your peers, because they're able to see that and say, no, this article is OPS. And here she goes.
The op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp. You have to remember that. What they learned from the UK case is to demonize Amber, which is what they did, and to try to suppress as much of the evidence that came in the UK and did not come in the United States. But the other problem is we had cameras in the courtroom.
So what?
So here we had, not only did we have a group of Depp fans that were there every day, 100 were allowed in. They lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning for.
So what? Is their right? This is America, not the freaking UK. That is their right, and they can line up, and 100 people are allowed in. That is their right.
Their wristbands to be in that courtroom. But we had everything on camera, and we had tremendous social media that was very, very, very much against Amber.
It was pointed out that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
And I fought hard and lost that battle.
So
That should not have happened.
So I'm a former NFL player, and after a hard loss, it's easy to wake up and point to the other side. Oftentimes, I realized the better thing to do was to look in the mirror. What mistakes did I make as a player? What mistakes did our coaching staff make? And then how can we improve from there? Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like Amber made a mistake while she was on the stand? Because you're saying it's celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him. But what about you and your team?
Well, and that's an excellent question.
And I gotta think, whenever someone says that's an excellent question, they just need 10 seconds to think.
To say, and Amber even said on the stand, I am not perfect. I am a human being. These people were giving her death threats. They threatened to microwave her baby. This is the kind of social media she was getting. So are any of us perfect? No. Is there something else we feel we should have done? Yes, I absolutely. I redo my closings 100 times.
Well, I'll tell you what the fuck you should have done. The counterclaim, you should have burned it. You should have done your best to keep Amber from the stands because she's a horrible human being. And you can sense the evil out of that woman. You should have just stuck to your guns, maybe argue the First Amendment. Honestly, let Rottenborn take over, and maybe you had a better chance.
Afterwards, whether I win or lose, that's part of being a good lawyer, a good trial lawyer. Is There's always something. But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control, and I think the social media it was like a Roman Colosseum. Is the best way to describe the atmosphere here. And I have to believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weekends, they have families, they have
they were not sequestered. They were not sequestered.
And the 10-day period we had, how could they not have been influenced?
But Elaine, for most people watching this trial, and a lot of people, got huge views. It just seemed to be so messy and salacious and so tawdry on both sides. And I think for a lot of people from the outside looking in thought both of them were not telling the truth and that they mutually abused each other. Do you not believe that was the case?
No, and that's one of the many misnomers. The way that Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence. It completely ignored the cycle of violence and just said, oh, she wouldn't have done this if he had been hitting her. That was their approach.
So you thought that they weren't fighting fair?
Correct. I don't think they were fighting fair.
They weren't fighting fair? They were fighting fair? I mean, You said you repeat your closings. Go rewatch that closing. You saw all the objections. She had to track back, step back, and correct herself mid closing because the judge called her out on something. The judge had to call her out because she kept interrupting Camille and adding information she was not supposed to add. She was desperately trying to bring the UK trial during that closing. She was tiptoeing that line and freaking Benju and Camille were just waiting. Fall. Pass it. Go ahead, pass it.
And you think Amber
Absolutely.
Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence?
Yes, I absolutely believe that. And there's a tremendous amount of evidence, much of which did not come into this
I mean, nowadays, man, you can be whatever the hell you want. I'm a World War II survivor at this point.
trial,
Shit.
did come into the UK trial. We even had more evidence. We had medical records. We had mental health records that went back to 2012 that were contemporaneous. We had text messages from Mr. Depp's assistant saying, when I told
That's
him that
hearsay.
he had kicked you,
Yeah.
he cried.
So how
That
is she
didn't come
today,
from-
Elaine? How is she today? What
She's
is her
heartbroken.
next move?
She's right. Well, her next move is appeal. There were
But
a
she's
number.
heartbroken. and-
She is heartbroken. And one of the first things that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went into the conference room, was, I am so sorry to all these women. That's,
She said that?
yes, she felt like she had let down all of these women because she had more evidence than most people do. And yet they
No,
still
she didn't.
didn't believe her.
She had a
Elaine
lot of
Charleston,
nothing.
Brett Hoff, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back.
She had a lot of nothing. A lot of nothing. That's what the fuck she had. I mean, you guys, this is what the fuck she did. I told you guys, this is what the fuck she did. This girl was talking about during discovery. She was on trial. She was like, I have a mountain of evidence. A mountain of evidence? Yeah, I have a mountain of evidence. What did Johnny do? He penetrated me with a bottle. With a bottle. You have medical records? Miss Heard, you have medical records to prove this? No, but I have a bottle. A bottle. What do you mean you have a bottle? I have a picture of a bottle. A bottle? You mean the bottle he used? No, a bottle I burned last night. Yo, she had nothing. She had nothing. She had images of. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We're doing this live. We're struggle streaming. We're not streaming, but Amber Heard's evidence pictures. Let me see if I can pull up the evidence pictures real quick. Oh, God bless America. That's not really. Oh my God, I'm definitely showing this one. Definitely showing this one. This is what Amber Heard had. Completely forgot about that one. Okay. This apparently is from the incident. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. The battle throwing, right? Because it's supposed to represent them throwing bottles and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you mean you were throwing bottles? Okay, so this is Elaine. This is how low IQ Elaine thinks you are. If you guys look at this picture right here, Elaine, while on trial, was drawing these circles to make the jury focus on a specific spot. Because if you take this stupid little freaking yellow line out, the jury couldn't see anything, and they would have been like, "What the hell are you referring to?" Right? She said that he ripped his hair out. She said I had a bunch of pus and blood coming out. And I'm sorry, that's what you're supposed to look like? Either you're Wolverine or there's some BS or there's some bullshit going on here. Right? Okay, you take pictures of him sleeping, going through rehab, I believe. This messages, okay. I think I passed it, maybe. Yeah, I think I passed everything I need to pass. The Daily Beast. Let me see. Go up. I forgot what this was. This is supposed to be. Let me see if I can find something else real quick. I want to find the pictures, she says, side by side that were obviously photoshopped. Okay, here they are. Start screening. Let's share this thing real quick. Never heard. Okay. Right. So Amber said that this was supposed to be the instance of abuse, right? The reason it's not is because, listen, I don't have to be an expert in photography. So you just look at this picture and just know that one is more saturated than the other. Every hair is exactly where like, just, if there have been people on YouTube, they have grabbed these two pictures side by side, they have put them together, put an overlay on top, and when you switch from one to another, it's literally the exact same picture. You brighten this a little bit more, the one on the right, you get this one, and if you take away some of the saturation, you get this one. But she thought she could get away with some bullshit. This is her mountain of evidence. Look, this is beautiful. If you guys can see, yeah, this person just overlaid each picture. She put an overlay on each picture, and what happens? They're a perfect match. She has so little evidence that she had to edit the pictures. She had to edit the freaking pictures. That's how little evidence this girl had. Listen, Elaine to me is a Muppet. She's a puppet. All right? This woman belongs in. I love it when I have jokes, but they fall flat because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be referring to. It was this cartoon. It had a bunch of Muppets and puppets. It's like 21 Street, something like that. Whatever. No, man, I gotta find. It's where Elmo was. The Cookie Monster was from. Where is the Cookie Monster from? Fascinating. Big yellow bird show. Yeah, he's a Muppet, but is he a puppet? We're breaking it down. Sesame Street. There you go. This woman has to be from Sesame Street because she's a puppet, not a Muppet. I don't know where I'm going with that. But look, like, she has zero integrity. She knows the rules of evidence. She's being disingenuous. She came to both of this interview to spread lie and pure propaganda, talking about the UK trial, talking about mountain of evidence that they didn't have, talking about appealing, talking about a disservice to females and women inside and outside the courts. The jurors lied, right? That it was a zoo, right? All type of bullshit. All type of bullshit. So I'm just gonna end it. I'm just gonna end it right here. I'm gonna upload this video. I had a lot of fun. I had to do it quickly either way. If I had more time, I would love to do something else. All right, guys. This is the unbreaded version of the podcast, the unpussified version of the podcast. This is where I'll get to do stories more in depth that I enjoy. Next time, I want to do the H3H3 story, the one where he's going over, the allegations from Fresh and Fit. And I want to play Wizard 101 while I do that because it's a long story and I'm not going to focus for a whole hour. And I don't want to be interrupting that story every 10 seconds. So thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.